go. Okay, so this is how that works. It is podcast. It's my favorite day of the week, which I do so love. I say so my job is to find the entertainment, and then I let Amy introduce everybody. So, but this is my friend anyway. So anyway, but today
you can do it. Go ahead.
Today I'm between two Amy's. We have more than two Amy's. We have three Amy's. We've never had that before. We have a lot of Amy's. So our moms, that must have been like the popular name, but we have a big age difference.
Are we all AMY?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
See,
yeah.
There's those weirdos out there.
All right, now you can go ahead with the introduction. I'll let you go ahead.
This isn't just Amy.
Oh wait, and congratulations to Amy. And for the record, we have two Amy C's now. Amy Cottney, Amy Craig. She just got married on Saturday to Luke Craig. Yay! Luke Craig, who is awesome, and we love him very much. So you did a really good job.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
I know you should.
So cheers to that real quick.
Yeah, cheers to that.
Cheers.
We are drinking a Pinot Noir from Mura Vineyards, and it's absolutely delicious.
It is.
And it's after 5. This has just been pre-recorded. Don't laugh. You're not. You're supposed to say yes.
Yes.
Of course it is.
Okay, go ahead with the
Yes.
introduction.
This is Amy Fisher. You would know her from One Bike Coffee Company. And where are you located?
We are located in the Moores Mill Publix Shopping Center.
Mm-hmm. And so you also have One Bike
Foundation.
I was about to say charity, but
Yeah, Foundation.
You want to start with that? And tell
Sure.
us what that is?
Sure. So One Bike Foundation, the proceeds from the coffee shop go into the foundation, and we give away bikes for people that have MS. We also do some community type things.
Mm-hmm.
We've given money into some other organizations within the community, like the Boys and Girls Club, like Storybook Farms, different places like that. So our whole goal in opening the coffee shop was to do something that we could then put back into the community, with the main goal being the bikes for people with MS. And we buy endurance bikes. They're new bikes. We had some people be like, oh, we'll donate a bike, but we actually give. They're really nice bikes. And the only thing that the person who receives it has to do is they have to say, hey, I will get to the starting line of some sort of an MS ride. And so it's not a race, but it's just a ride, because the community part of that we feel like is really, really important for people that have
love
MS.
that. Is this I mean, do the people who get the bikes, do they have to be local? Like, is
I was just going to ask that.
State of Alabama. We gave away our 4th bike yesterday to the daughter of our 3rd bike recipient. Both the mother and the daughter have MS, and we gave that away in Huntsville yesterday.
Nice.
So she's actually a college student.
So do you apply for that? How did you? And do
you can go on our website,
Yeah.
Which is onebikecoffee.com, and there's a place on there where you can ask for more information, and we can get you an application for that. And the application is not a ton of information. It's just more, you do have to have been diagnosed with MS, and then just some other basic information, and then just really the information about, what do you have to do. And the big thing about it is not so much, we know that exercise helps people that have MS, but also just the community of being around other people that are trying to stay active with that. We got started in it because
that was my next question.
Sorry.
You're so good at that.
You're good.
We got involved with a group out of Dallas, Texas called Meat Fight, MEAT. And they do something very similar, but they started as a backyard barbecue, just a friendly backyard barbecue where they started cooking barbecue and inviting friends over, and more people wanted to come. And so they thought, oh, well, we'll sell tickets. So they started selling tickets. And one of the guys in this group of friends was diagnosed with MS, and he's a triathlete. And so they said, this is what we should do with this money. And last year at Meat Fight, we actually got to go to Meat Fight last year. Last year they raised over $250,000 in one night.
Oh my goodness.
And so
and it just started like as a little barbecue in the backyard.
Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
the lady they have a CEO of Meat Fight. That'd be great. That would be your title.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, her name's Alice Lasad, and you would love Meat Fight, Amy, just because I know you. It's just very fun. Like this past year, it was all like carnival games, and it's all like they have famous chefs in Texas that pretty much vie for spots
Wow,
to
that's
compete in
amazing.
Meat Fight.
That's so cool.
And so they do barbecue, and then breweries are there, and you buy a ticket, and it's all you can eat. and then they judge all the stuff, and then they have auctions and stuff. But this is what they did, and we got involved with them because actually my husband has MS, and so he got involved. He had been he's an Ironman and had done a lot of triathlons, and he got asked to be in a group 2 years ago for the Galveston 70.3, which is a half Ironman, to be in a group of 13 people that had MS. They called it Project 13, and they got a professional coach and, that kind of thing. And so that's how we got to know them. And because they sponsored it, they had like a tent at the race, and they had somebody in a cow suit and somebody in a pig suit cheering on all the people that were in the race or whatever. And that's really not... it's not either of our personalities. It's definitely not my husband's personality, but he really wanted to do something. And so then the coffee shop came up for sale, and he said, maybe this is our thing. And so it has become our thing.
That's
to
great.
Be able to do that.
And
I love that.
When was it that you guys got started?
We opened the coffee shop in August of 2017.
Oh, wow.
So,
So you're going on your second, almost 2 years.
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
And how's it been going?
It keeps growing. Like
That's
it's
good.
been, we look at sales, a year ago versus, same
Yeah.
day or whatever. This week, sometimes you kind of don't know, especially like during exams and stuff, but it has cranked up a ton this week. It's been, we've had people come in and we've had to go to other people and go, hey, could they sit at this table with y'all? Because there's
that's
nowhere
funny.
to sit.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Which has been, it's a good problem to have.
That is.
And I
Yeah.
think the other thing, we just said we want to do a good product and we want to provide a great service. We want people to come in and feel comfortable here. We even, our first set of shirts that we had the small, medium, and large cup on it, and it had the Starbucks names on there, and we had X'd it out and put small, medium, and large. Like, we're like,
Yeah, I
we're
bet
just gonna
people
speak
loved it.
English here.
Grande or
Yes.
venti.
Yeah,
What?
because I don't even know when people order. I'm like, I'm sorry, you have to tell me what that is. But they and we just said we want this to be about community, and we've gotten to know. We have some customers who come every single day.
I love it.
And now the staff knows their order. We have a drive-through, which we're the only coffee shop besides Starbucks
that
has a
drive-through.
drive-through. So that's been really
That's
good
great.
and beneficial. We also, funny story, we're on the end of that front building there, and on the other end of the other building is Pack Mail,
Yeah.
and we've had a girl drive through and drop off her UPS package and drive off. the kids that work there were like, we got this package and
Oh,
we're not
that's
sure what
so
to do with it. And
funny.
I was like, yeah, I think they thought they were at UPS.
You
so.
guys are in the old Johnny Brusco's out, right? Or no?
We're in the building
We're
next to them.
next to
so
them,
like
okay.
we're
in that same building.
our drive-through goes between us and
Okay.
them. So we're next to Great Clips and Louis. We're in that same
in the
front.
public shopping center at Moore's Mill.
At Morris Mill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when it went in, and I had no idea there was a story behind it.
Yeah.
So I love that you're here to just kind of get that story out, And now that we all know, we can talk about that and
Yeah.
keep it
Well,
growing for you.
And we have money for more bikes. We just need people to apply that, and we can do, we haven't done any yet, but we can do if somebody needs a recumbent bike because of where they are in their progression of their disease, we can do that. Danny James and Amanda James at James Brothers have been huge supporters for
I
us.
love
That's
James for
great.
the bikes.
Oh my gosh, they've been phenomenal, and they work with us to get the person fitted, and then with their bike, and then make sure that they have all that they need. So it's bike and it's a kit. I mean, it's shoes and
Oh,
helmet,
wow.
all
It's
that
not
stuff.
just a
So-
bike.
So you're not going to Walmart to get the bikes.
No.
So
No.
these bikes, I mean, can you tell us approximately how, or is that a no-no?
The whole package together is right around $1,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's a lot of money.
yeah,
That's a good bike.
yeah.
That's a really good
It's a
bike.
really good bike, and there are some, like, we don't just go, oh, here's your bike. We go, do you like this or this kind of. I mean, Danny and Amanda really work
customized,
with
you know.
people.
That's
Yep,
great.
and make sure it
have
fits.
you found a lot of? I mean, is there a lot of, like, in our community, a lot of MS and like that we'd be shocked about? Probably.
Yeah. And I think part of it with the disease is that it's it's an autoimmune disease and it affects the nerves. And what happens is the myelin around your nerves, which is basically the way when we first got Jack's diagnosis, the way they first told us about it was, it's like when you have your phone cord that you charge your phone with, and it gets a short in it, like a nick in it or whatever, and so there's a little short. Well, that's basically what MS does is your body attacks itself, and it makes these lesions on those nerves. And so it's different for every person who has it because it depends on what nerve it affects.
Where it's at.
And so, like, we have a friend who has it, and she's had times where she couldn't hear. and it was because those nerves were affected,
affected.
not because she couldn't hear. And that's one of the hardest things too about the disease is because you still have normal things that other people, have, but you always are wondering, like, is this the MS or is it really?
Right.
So you kind of do have to go get it checked out. Some people have, they'll have a vision issue.
Right.
And so they'll go to the eye doctor, and the eye doctor's like, everything looks fine, but it's because that's
It's a
those are
deeper
the-
rooted.
This
Yeah.
is a
issue.
well, I don't know enough about MS at all.
Right.
So
Yeah.
this is probably a really stupid question, but can it
No,
be
they're-
something different every single time?
It can be.
Okay, so you can have like
Wow.
one month or 6 months have an eye issue, and the next not, and then the next have balance. Because I
Yeah.
know MS affects your balance a lot.
Yes.
So-
Yes, it does. And a lot of the balance issue, though, too, is not so much true balance, but it's like if you're walking and you think your right foot is going here, it really
It's not going
because
there.
of the nerve
Yeah.
and the signal, it goes somewhere else, which kind of throws you or whatever. But yeah, and there's a couple of different kinds of MS. The two main kinds are what they call primary progressive, which means it just continues to get worse. And then the other kind is relapsing remitting. And relapsing remitting is where you can be fine for long periods of time, no symptoms, anything like that, and then all of a sudden
Have
you
symptoms.
have symptoms and something happens, and then there's a lot of medications, but a lot of times with relapsing remitting, when you have a relapse, a high dose of steroids will help as far as taking the inflammation down. But the biggest things that Jack in particular, and I think other people that we've talked to have found is rest, making sure you're getting good sleep. That's really important for everybody, but people with MS. Nutrition is also important because sugar can create situations where those lesions can become more pronounced or those types of things. And so eating well, and then also just exercise because muscle memory can combat some of the side effects of it.
Well, I'm a big yogi.
Yeah.
And so
Me too.
A lot of yogis do. I mean, that have MS. A lot of people that have MS do yoga.
Right.
For that reason, right there.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
very.
Well, and the flexibility
Yep.
and all that kind of thing. So.
I was going to ask you about the science behind the bike, like why you particularly chose bike. I watched a video a while back on a young girl who had, I guess, more of a progressive type of MS, and to where she could hardly control her walking. But when she ran track, she had great
seen that,
control.
yeah.
Did you see that? And it was
Yeah.
amazing. As soon as she stopped running, she lost all mobility in her
Yeah.
legs. She couldn't control it, but when she was running, and she won races. I mean,
Yeah.
she was like Superwoman. It was such an incredible
collapse
thing.
at
Yes,
the-
and right
yeah.
at the end, she couldn't hold herself up.
Yeah.
So it was really amazing, and I thought, well, there's something there. There's something there with the rapid movement or whatever it is. Like, do you know more about that science
Well-
and how maybe biking is a good answer to that? And
Yeah, and I think some of it, one is just the exercise,
Just moving.
just making sure you're moving, and it helps you sleep, obviously,
Yeah.
and so you need sleep. But I think also, too, is just that muscle memory, repetitive movement, and because your feet are clipped in, they can only go,
yeah, that makes sense,
so
yeah.
it kind of is
I
it
gotcha.
controls that
Yeah.
or whatever. So
Yeah.
that, and of course, swimming. It's just kind of funny because when Jack was first diagnosed, the first doctor that told us the diagnosis, we had been in his office waiting for test results, and we were sitting, and there were like all these pamphlets on the wall, and he picked up this one pamphlet that was about MS, and he like read it, and he goes, "Well,
I think I just diagnosed
no,"
myself.
He said, "I'm glad I don't have that," and he put it back in the rack.
Oh, no.
So anyway, then the doctor came in and said, "Hey, have you looked?" Because my real job, I'm in the medical field, and he was like, "Hey, have you looked at the test results?" And I said, "No." And so he said, "Well, let's go in my office." And it was like the longest walk because you kind of know something's
bet.
up. Anyway, and he showed us the scans and showed us the lesions or whatever. And so Jack said, "Can I keep doing Ironman stuff? Can I
Yeah.
keep doing triathlon stuff?" And he goes, "Well, I really think you probably should just do water aerobics." Well,
Mhm.
and, yeah, that's not his style at all.
Right.
And so we left there and went to a specialist. This guy was a neurologist, and he was amazing, absolutely amazing. But we left there and went to a neurologist in Birmingham, Dr. Emily Reiser, who's his neurologist now. And she's a big biker, runner kind of thing. And so she was like, "If you feel like doing it, do it. Like, do whatever." And so he's done 2 full Ironmans since then.
Wow.
That's wild.
And has one planned for next year. And, he just there are things that heat really can exacerbate your symptoms,
Right.
as well as cold. Like he's very sensitive to cold, and that's a lot of people. It's not just him,
Yeah.
but that's just a lot. But you were asking about the people in the community. We've gotten to know
Yeah, I
more
bet you have,
people.
yeah.
Not only people we didn't know before, but also people we knew that we didn't know had it.
Yeah.
Who have come and said, well, yeah, so me too. And I think for a lot of people, it's because you don't see the symptoms and because a lot of fatigue is a big thing that happens for people with MS. And so a lot of times because people don't know about it and don't understand it, they're like, well, are they just being lazy? Or, well, there can't be anything wrong
Right,
with them.
they look fine.
Yeah, they look fine, or they're doing fine,
Right.
in certain circumstances or during certain times or
Right.
whatever. So that's been a big kind of thing. And we have done some like dinners we'll do at the coffee shop after we close with people in the community and their families that have MS, just to kind of not to get together and be like, oh, woe is us, but really to just get together and talk about, hey, how do you deal with this? And what happens when that happens?
That's kind of like real estate. I mean,
Right.
I said
Information
not different,
session,
but we
yeah.
always, if we sit down together, and as a group, it's so much more helpful.
Yeah.
Well, there's always so many different scenarios in real estate.
Yeah.
It's like, have you ever had this happen?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
so
We
you
do.
talk about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I could see how that could build a really great community.
Well, I have
too.
a random question, and I don't know if this is true, but I don't know where I've read this, but is it true, this would not be in your case, but that it affects more women than men?
It does.
Okay.
And it
in
actually-
a particular age group too?
Yeah, and normally diagnosis happens, and I can't remember the exact number, so don't hold me to this, but normally diagnosis happens between like 25 and 40, and so Jack was diagnosed at 55, so he's like way outlier. And so, who knows how long he had been
Maybe
having
had symptoms and didn't realize.
Yeah, and didn't realize it because he really, the first thing that was a telltale sign to him was he was out running, which he does all the time, and he basically, in his words, he couldn't get going in a straight line. Like he felt like he was
Zigzag.
weaving, and that was kind of one of the first things that he went, And then he also had some times where like he'd walk through a door and hit the door jam, like.
Kind of
Right.
like you're drunk or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I
I
mean,
tell you what,
for real.
MS,
Not that I would get
MS
drunk.
people a lot of times get stopped for public intoxication.
Shut up.
When
'Cause
they've not
Are you
had
serious?
anything. He actually
not
had
walking
somebody at
straight.
his job ask him one day, "Have you been drinking?" And it was just because he was just weaving a little bit. And the thing about, like, especially with him, like if you don't know he has it, you would not go like, "Oh, that guy's got MS," but
right.
because I mean he's
He's
so
an Iron
high
Man.
Yeah, he's an Iron Man, which is incredible.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Amy knows all my kids, but Sims is 20 he's 22. And 2 years ago, he and Jack both did Ironman Chattanooga, and it was Sims' first
Oh.
Ironman race, and Jack beat him, and he was
Yeah.
like so frustrated by that.
That is awesome.
But it was really awesome too. I mean,
Yes.
Sims was like, "That's really cool that you did." So
That is
He probably was
awesome.
like, I'll let you win.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Iron Man in general.
my
Yes, that
gosh.
is so impressive. It
Yes.
makes me hurt to think about what they have to do, how far they have to go.
Well,
I'm
the
like,
training and just even the training part.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
that's
just could not
that
imagine.
affects the whole family. What I'm
Oh
saying.
yeah, but when the first year he did an Ironman, he did Ironman Kentucky. It was in Louisville, and this was before his diagnosis. But he was training all summer, and we got to the race and everything, and I saw him when they transitioned out of the swim, and then we saw him. We went and met him partway on the bike or whatever, and he comes off the bike in transition. He's going on to the run, and he looks at me and he goes, "I think I've found my distance." And I thought to myself, I really need my grass cut. And one day that summer I came home and I thought, fortunately we live way out, no one cares. But I came home and I thought, oh, he cut the grass. And it had just grown so high it had fallen over.
oh, that is so funny.
So it is, I mean, it's a huge commitment. But for him, I mean, it's what he's always done, but also just for your health, it's what you have
Yeah.
to keep doing. And I think that's the other part of being in a community with people that have
Yep.
MS is because they can say to you, hey, what are you doing about this? And how are you handling this? Not only from a information for themselves, but also just for an accountability thing. Because the other thing I think people that have MS have a tendency to do is kind of pull back from things and, you know, not want to be, one, they're tired, you know. I mean, I'm tired at the end of the day, when we get home. And so there's also that kind of thing. And so we've got some really good friends, a really, really good friend that has MS that I don't think she'd care if I said, Trudy, that teaches us yoga. And that's kind of her thing. And she's funny because she'll look at Jack when he talks about Ironman stuff and she's like, why? Like, why do you do that?
Why do you do that?
But she'll, that's been a good relationship to have with her because she's been really helpful to us in saying, this is what I'm experiencing, and she'll say to him, like, are you getting sleep? And she can say that where I can't always say that. 'cause I'm
Right.
the
Well, and
wife,
Trudy
but-
says it in such a nice, calm way too. I mean,
Yes.
a Trudy way.
Yes, such a Trudy way.
Yes.
She's the best.
So is it every day they're tired, or is it
Pretty much.
It comes in, because sometimes you can have an episode. What's it called when you have an
That's
episode?
relapsing remitting.
Okay.
So you've relapsed.
Right.
And Trudy actually has relapsing remitting.
Yeah.
And so she does great. And then she'll have times where she calls it, she's told him, she's like, some days you just got to take a Netflix day.
And Netflix.
So sometimes it's worse than others, but yeah, it's like there's only a certain amount of energy, and I think part of it is because your nervous system. You know how much tighter you get when you're nervous about something.
Yeah.
Tense and yeah.
Yeah, and so I think some of it is that. I don't
That makes
know
complete
that for
sense,
sure,
though. Yeah.
but that you just wear out fast.
Yeah.
You'd only have.
I
so
wear
much
myself
energy.
out fast, and I don't have that. I'm serious. Y'all
You
laughing.
say that like we're surprised by that.
I mean, do not call me past 8 o'clock. I do not want to talk to your ass. Is what I say. I'm not gonna talk to you.
She just
done.
turns her phone off because they start going to green text. I'm like, oh, she's done.
She's done.
I mean, I'm done. I had somebody text me, and you know who you are, at 11:30 the other night.
Oh my
know.
gosh.
And I sent him a text back. A text back. It was a fellow realtor.
Oh gosh.
And,
I should know better.
I said, "What? No. What? Why are you texting me at 11:30? I'm thinking one of my kids are in a wreck. When
Yes.
somebody does that.
Yes.
I think,
Don't do that to a mom.
Yeah, my child
Great.
got eaten by a bear or something. I don't know. That could happen in my life. So I
This
just don't
could.
know,
This
but-
is true. This could happen.
Well, I appreciate you giving us a
Yeah.
whole entire spiel on this.
Okay,
It's
but
been
now
great.
you want me to tell you all the good stuff you can come get at One Bite Coffee?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah,
what
let's-
we mean.
Why are we
So-
going to go in there? What are we going to get?
Well, you can get
Yeah.
any coffee drink, like
can get wine.
lattes. No, well, unless you. Sometimes we do women who wine night.
I like
I
that.
need to put y'all on the list.
Yes.
That's after hours though. It's not for sale. So of course, any coffee drink, espresso, lattes. I think we're looking at some new stuff for this summer, but you can also get frozen drinks like. Not with alcohol, but frappes, and we have a really good frozen lemonade,
Oh, I love frozen
Yum.
lemonade.
and you can do lavender lemonade.
Oh, I
in it.
love
Ooh.
lavender.
Yeah, there you go.
lemonade.
It's really
I
good.
do.
And then we have paninis, so lunch paninis and breakfast paninis. We had a guy come through the drive-thru the other day, and he's like, "What's on the breakfast panini?" And I said, "Well, you can get ham, egg, cheese, bacon, sausage."
And he goes, yes.
"That's exactly what he said." And so
All those things.
his girlfriend was with him, and she goes, "How about just egg and cheese?" And I was like, "Okay, so egg and cheese for you, and the real man panini for him."
There
And
you
she's like, "Yeah."
go. That's what it
So
should
we
be
have
named.
that. We have lunch paninis, and then we have lots of baked goods. We have scones. We have 3 kinds of scones.
I love scones.
4 kinds of muffins that are really good. We also have cinnamon rolls that are about as big as your head. We have caramel rolls that are basically the same, but they're
Wells,
caramel.
have you been there yet?
No.
See, she's speaking your language
Wells,
with all
come
these
on.
sweets, and he likes frozen coffee drinks.
There you go. We can do
Yum.
that for you too. And then you can get you can also get pumpkin bread that we make. That's
I love
homemade.
pumpkin bread.
Yeah, we make and I quit making pumpkin bread, and then I had to bring it back because we got so many people.
Everybody
like,
wanted
Well,
the pumpkin.
I have a
bread.
pumpkin bread addiction. Is this not true?
Yeah, you have like 5 boxes of pumpkin bread stuff in your.
From Trader Joe's that I'll make, but I have more than 5. I haven't hid it. I
haven't hidden?
ration
They're hidden
them out.
throughout
You just
the
need to
house.
come and get it, yeah.
Absolutely.
And we make it in little loaves, so you like a
Oh,
snack
that
size
makes me
loaf or
happy.
whatever. So.
See, I think pumpkin can be all year round.
It doesn't have to
especially
be
pumpkin
just
bread.
like
Yeah.
November, October.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I was
Fall.
thinking that. I was trying to do it seasonal, but no, they won't let me. But then the other thing that we have that's our most popular item is crack cake.
Crack cake.
That's what has the Pinot Grigio in it, as a nod to my mother because that's her favorite
Well,
wine.
what is in crack cake? Like,
Well,
Is
it's
this
like
because you just want a lot of just crack, 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 crack?
well, because it's addictive. I guess it's called that.
Crack, 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 crack.
It has. It's like a cinnamon pound cake. A little. It's
Ooh,
got
I
a little bit
love
of cinnamon in it.
that.
Not
Everything
like
she said, you're like, I love scones. I love muffins. I love coffee.
If you had said, we serve broccoli and corn, I'd be like,
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you probably would have.
No, we don't serve any of that. But crack cake, yeah, it's pretty addictive. Like we have people who come back all the time, and we were closed for a couple weeks for some stuff anyway. And when we got back, people had put signs on the windows that said, "We need our crack cake."
is it like,
I love
is
It's
it
in a
just-
bundt pan.
Oh.
We make it there. Well, I make it.
Do you like cut it by the slice?
Yeah,
Okay.
but you get a slice. Slice is an eighth of a bundt cake.
Well, I'm gonna buy
Whoa.
you some crack cake just so you. I think
That sounds
There's not any there
delicious.
right now. I'm going to bake after work tonight.
You are?
So
Do you
yeah.
do all the baking?
I do the crack cake and the pumpkin bread.
Who does like the scones and stuff? Do y'all?
The
order-
staff does that.
Okay.
Those are.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
they come
Like-
they come ready to bake, so to speak. But then we
Okay.
make like the icing and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yum,
So,
yum,
but yeah.
yum.
I know. I have a bit of
That
a
sounds
sweet tooth like
good.
with scones. I have issues with that. I love scones.
I love
Scones are great. We have blueberry, we have raspberry white chocolate, and we have orange cranberry.
Ooh, see?
Very
all
good.
sounds really good.
It is good.
I'm gonna have
And
to
what are
stop
your
in there.
hours?
So we're open Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 6, and Saturday and Sunday we're open 7:30 to 3.
Okay.
Okay.
So we just we started opening on Sunday a couple months ago, and
How's that going?
that's really good.
Good.
Oh,
Yeah, we have a
good.
lot of people who come in like on their way to church or
Mhm.
like after church. We have a lot of kids who come in and study and stuff. And also there's a back room, like if you ever need to meet real estate people, there's a back room that'll seat 8. And
Oh,
you can
cool.
reserve it. You can call the shop and say, "Hey, can I have the back room Tuesday morning from 10
such
to 12
good
or whatever?"
information.
And there's a dry erase board. A lot of study groups go back there too.
Cool.
But-
Study groups, Wells.
So-
Poor Wells.
It's
Just
funny.
getting
Study.
picked on.
Whichever child is in here gets, you
Gets
know,
picked
her
on. Oh,
daily.
absolutely.
Like,
You
dose.
just have to y'all have learned to put up with it, haven't you?
He's grinning and bearing it.
Yeah, for 40 forevers.
That's
Yes,
I
yes.
mean, you know.
So,
We
yeah.
got anything else?
Well, you've got the website too, right?
Yeah.
So do you have a website for One Bite Coffee and also for One Bite
The
Foundation? It's all on there.
Well,
Or?
the coffee one and then the foundation one is kind of being fleshed out.
Okay.
So, Katie Doss, I don't know if y'all know Katie,
Yeah.
and here Molly Girl, they had their ribbon cutting this morning. She did her
Awesome.
husband actually, and they don't care that we share this. Her husband has MS, and he was our first
Oh.
bike.
Oh my
And so
goodness.
she did our website for us, which was
Oh,
phenomenal
that's
and
nice.
sweet.
Yeah.
Because when you're not for profit, you're like, yay.
Can somebody
that's awesome.
help
Yeah.
me? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, everything's on. You can see all the food on the website too.
Oh,
So.
I love it.
Well, we'll make sure to put that website up,
Yeah, Wells. Put it on.
and
on the
you can
bottom,
see
right
this on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Anchor, and iTunes, and the little blue dot on your phone. Which one? None,
Purple
oh,
dot.
purple. It's
Purple
purple.
dot.
It's purple dot.
That's why no one's been able to find it.
I know. They're like, what is she
It's
talking
purple like
about?
your
There's-
microphone.
It's like my
so-
microphone, purple.
Yes.
But between two Amy's, thank you.
Yes, thank you for
very
coming.
much for being
much.
here.
Very
And
informational.
I'm gonna have to come and get some crack cake.
Yay!
Yes, you will.
Y'all
Peace
go get some
out.
too.
Happy Thursday.